Dear students and test takers, welcome back to my Grammar for Success channel. I am Koresh Babu, a retired lecturer in English from Hyderabad. In today's video, I am going to teach you the use of relative pronouns who, whom, and whose. To tell you the truth, the use of these relative pronouns is indeed very important and very useful for all your competitive examinations. Therefore, I request all of you to watch this video till the end without skipping it in the middle, right? And now let's get into the video. Relative pronouns, the use of who. I have mentioned here only who, and other forms that have come from this who are also there. Who, whom, and whose. These three things are there. And this grammatical aspect is very important for all your competitive examinations. Now let's get into the video. Use of the relative pronouns. Okay, what are the relative pronouns here? Who, and the, you can say, the ones that have come out of this who. These are the forms that have come out of this who. Okay, who, whom, and whose. These three, about these three relative pronouns. Other relative pronouns are also there, but I am not going to teach you about them in this video. I am going to teach you exclusively about these three relative pronouns. Okay, who, whom, whose. These are called relative pronouns. Why? Why are they called relative pronouns? Means they do two actions. Number one, what is that? They join, what is that? Two statements or two sentences, just like what is that? A conjunction. Okay, just like a conjunction, they join two sentences together. One thing, that is one action they do. The other action is, what is that? They relate, or what is that? Refer to the noun going before. They relate to the noun or refer to the noun going before, and that noun is called, what is that? Antecedent. Okay, antecedent. Antecedent. Okay, antecedent. Antecedent, that is the name given to that noun, right? And let us now see other things. Here this who is there, it is used exclusively for persons only. Okay, exclusively for persons. Whom is also used exclusively for persons, but this whose is there, it is used not only for persons but also for things. That is a very important thing. It is used exclusively for persons. Whom also exclusively for persons, but whose is there, it is used not only for persons but also for things. That is the point you keep in mind. And they are used both for singular, okay, and plural number. Okay, plural number, no differentiation at all. Who is used for a singular noun or who is used for a plural noun. So all in this whom and whose, all of them are used, you can say, for a singular and plural noun or pronoun. Okay, and here now I'll give you other things. The same things are explained here. Just you see that who, whom are used only for persons, while whose is used both for persons and things. One point is clear. They may refer to singular or plural noun or what is that? A pronoun. They refer to a singular noun or a plural noun, or singular pronoun or a plural pronoun, that is there. And let us see that, the forms of who are as follows. What are the forms of who? And here you see that subjective case, objective case, possessive case. Who is the subjective case pronoun. Okay, and from the whom, from this, whom has come, and this is the objective case pronoun, and here this whose is there, it is called the possessive case pronoun. Okay, and who, whom, and whose, these three are. So that means, this who is used for the noun pronouns, for the nouns that are in the subjective case. Okay, this whom is used for the pronouns that are in the objective case. Whose is used for the pronouns that are used in the possessive case only. Okay, how? We are going to see a few examples. Use of relative pronouns. Okay, examples are given here. You look at these examples. Rakesh was punished, he was lazy. These are the two separate sentences. Are you following me? Rakesh was punished, he was lazy. Right. And here, what are we, using, what have we used for Rakesh in the second sentence? He. Who are we talking about in this sentence? About Rakesh. in the first sentence. Again, in the same second sentence, we are talking about he. So Rakesh and he. We are talking about Rakesh only in this sentence, and this he is referring to this Rakesh, right? And now to join these two sentences together, we have to do like this: Rakesh, and here instead of he, we have to use who, and who was lazy. This sentence you have to write, and later on the remaining sentence you have to add. Rakesh, who was lazy, was punished. So this is how you have to join the two separate sentences into one single sentence, right? And one more example: my grandpa was dead, I loved him very dearly. So here my grandpa was dead. Grandpa, you are talking about this grandpa, and in the second sentence you are talking about you are referring to him by the word him. That means him is an objective case pronoun. So the pronouns that come after what is that after the verb are called objective case pronouns. The pronouns that come before the verb are called subjective case pronouns. So for the objective case pronoun, we have to use whom. For the subjective case pronoun, we have to use who. It is like that. Now let us say how we can join these two sentences. My grandpa. Okay. Instead of this, we are using whom. Now it is dropped. Instead of this, we have used here whom. And now what is the remaining sentence? I loved very dearly. After writing this sentence, you have taken, you have used whom for this word, and write the remaining sentence. Afterwards, you join this sentence here. My grandpa, whom I loved very dearly, was dead. So here you understand that. My grandpa, whom I loved very dearly, was dead. So this is how you have to join the two separate sentences using the relative pronouns. Okay. And one more example here I would like to give you. Sheila is out of spirits. Out of spirits means unhappy or sad or sorrowful. Her wallet is lost. Her wallet means her money purse is lost. Okay, this is the sentence. And here we are talking about Sheila and about her wallet. Okay, her wallet. Okay, her wallet. And here, and how can you join this? This her is what is that a possessive case pronoun. Instead of this possessive case pronoun, we have to use only whose. Okay, right. How? Sheila, whose wallet is lost. Her wallet means whose. Instead of her, the possessive case pronoun, you are using the possessive case, what is a relative pronoun. Okay, Sheila, whose wallet is lost, is this part of the sentence is added here. Is out of spirits. See, this is how you have to join the two sentences together with the help of the relative pronouns. And remember, in this way, the relative pronouns do one action. What is that? Joining the two sentences. This is one aspect. The other aspect is it is referring to the what is that the noun that is going before. What is the noun going before? Who is referring to this or relating to this Rakesh? This is called antecedent. Okay. And here, whom is referring to this grandpa. This is called this antecedent of whom. The Rakesh is the antecedent of who, grandpa is the antecedent of whom, and this Sheila is the antecedent of what is that whose. That is so this Sheila, grandpa, Rakesh are called antecedents of these relative pronouns. Point is clear, I think, right? So this is how we have to join the two sentences together using the relative pronouns. Use of the relative pronoun who. Now I will talk to you exclusively about the relative pronoun who. Who, you know very well, it is a subjective case relative pronoun. So it will replace only the subjective case pronouns. Okay, right. Here you pay attention. This is the man. He works hard from dawn to dusk. So here we are talking about this man, and in the second sentence we are using he instead of this man. Okay, this he is used instead of this man, therefore it's a pronoun. Okay, here this is in the subjective case, therefore only this who is used to you can use it to join the subjective case pronouns only. How? Here you pay attention. This is the man who works hard from dawn to dusk. Instead of he, again you should not use he. Who he works, you should not say. Simply you have to say, this is the man who works hard from dawn to dusk. This is how you have to join these two separate sentences. Go to the next example. These are the hockey players. They play very well. So here we are talking about the hockey players, and in the next sentence we are referring to them by the pronoun they. They is in the subjective case, right? So whenever you have to join the two sentences, when there is this subjective case pronoun, you have to take the help of only who and nothing else, right? Here you see that these are the hockey players who play very well. Instead of this they, you are using you. The remaining sentence you have written like this. Okay, very easy you can do. God helps those, they help themselves. You are talking about those, and in the next sentence you are talking about they. Okay, you are referring to them by the pronoun they. They is in the subjective case. Okay, so then what is that? Yes, God helps those who help themselves. God helps only those people that help themselves, who help themselves, right? And here one more example is given. Mohan got through the interview. He worked hard. Okay, Mohan got through the interview. Okay, he worked hard, right? Here we are talking about Mohan. He got through the interview, and in the second sentence we are using he instead of that Mohan, right? And here what is that? To join them, these two statements we have to use who. Mohan immediately, this sentence should be used immediately beside the first noun. Okay, Mohan who worked hard got through the, okay, this is got through the interview. This is how you can join that. So here Mohan is the antecedent of who here. Those is the antecedent of who he, this sentence, and the hockey players is the antecedent of who in the second sentence, and man is the antecedent of who in the first sentence. So these are all the antecedents. Okay. Fifth one, the children were greatly surprised. They saw the conjurer's tricks. The children were greatly surprised. They saw the conjurer's tricks. They saw the magicians or the jugglers' tricks, and they were greatly surprised, right? And here, who are we talking about in the sentence? We are talking about the children. In the second example, second sentence, we are using what is they instead of the children, right? That's okay. Now it is in the subjective case. Okay, they is the subjective case pronoun. Whenever there is a subjective case pronoun, you must immediately take the help of who, the subjective case relative pronoun, to join these two separate sentences. Okay, the children who saw the conjurer's tricks. This sentence, you are talking immediately beside this, the noun, you are joining this one. The children, you must join this one. Okay, who saw the conjurer tricks? Then the remaining sentence should be written here, or greatly surprised, something like that. You watch that and you can understand. They will never fail. They die in a great cause. You are talking here about they in the first example, first sentence. In the second example also you are using they. Okay, they will never fail. They die in a great cause. How? Here's it. They who die in a great cause. This is referring to this. Therefore, you must use that immediately beside that. They who die in a great cause will never fail. That you have to add. That's very simple. Okay, seventh one. I dislike those people. You are talking about those people, and in the second example, you are using they for that. They are ill-mannered. Okay, and here you pay attention. I dislike those people who are ill-mannered, right? And one more example, it seems there is, any man can be trusted, he is honest. So here any man, you are talking about this any man, and in the second example you are talking about referring to him by the pronoun he. Okay, he is in the subjective case. Okay, you are referring to this man. Therefore, immediately after this man, you have to use the right sentence. How? Here you see, any man who is honest. Instead of this he, you are using who. Instead of they, you are using who. Instead of they, you are using who. Instead of they, like that. No? Yes, any man who is honest can be trusted. It is like that, right? The use of relative pronoun whom. Whom, the form that has been derived or that has come out from who, whose. Okay, what is that? Who usually replaces whom in informal English. In informal means, what is that? Not in the formal English. Formal means English that is spoken according to the rules and formalities. That's called formal English. Informal English means English spoken not according to the rules. That English is called informal English, right? In the informal English language, we use who instead of whom. Otherwise, we have to use only whom only. How? Let us see that. Sheila is the English teacher. We all respect her. Okay. Here you are talking about English teacher, and in the second sentence you are referring to her by the pronoun her. Her is used after her is what is that? It's a subject objective case pronoun because it is used after the verb. Objective case pronoun. So now it is there. You have to write the complete sentence. After that, instead of this her, you have to use whom, and remaining sentence you have to write. That's enough. How? The same thing is given here. Sheila is the English teacher. Who instead of her we have to use. And because this is referring to this teacher, this sentence must be written immediately beside that. How? Using whom. Whom we all respect. Okay. And one more example here is given. And here, in the informal English language, what is that? We use who also. Sheila is the English teacher. Who we all respect. Here we are, it is grammatically whom is the right one, but in the spoken English also we can use who we all respect. That's also acceptable, right? And you go to the next one. Those are the honest leaders. All people trust them. So here we are talking about the honest leaders, and in the second sentence, we are referring to them by the word them. Them is an objective case pronoun. Objective case pronoun because it is used after the verb. Remember, that's all. Them. Okay, and this is referring to this. What is that? Honest leader. So this sentence must be written immediate after this. How? So you write this sentence, and instead of this them, you use whom, and then remaining sentence you have to write. And let us see the same one. They are the honest leaders, whom all people. Immediately after this, you are using whom all people trust. Okay, and here in the informal English language, those are the honest leaders who all people trust. Who all people trust is also. It is also acceptable in the informal English language. It is in the formal language. It is in the informal language. Right. Third example. Mahesh is the boy. I want to help him. So you are talking about this Mahesh, and Mahesh is the boy. I want to help him. This him is referring to this boy, that is Mahesh. Who is that boy? Mahesh is the boy. And here what is that? I want to help him. So him is the objective case pronoun. So here how to connect it? How to join these two statements? Him, Mahesh is the boy. After that, instead of this whom I want to help. Right, like this. Mahesh is the boy whom I want to help. Right. And here informal English. Mahesh is the boy who I want to help. Okay. Instead of this whom, him is instead of him, we are using whom. And where do you use him? Immediately beside this a noun. Okay, now, right? Rakesh is the boy. I have told you about him. I have told you about him. So here we are talking about the boy Rakesh, and in the second example, second sentence, we are using him. So this him is directly referring to this boy. So therefore, we have to use, instead of him, we have to use whom, and that immediately beside this, it is referring to this boy. So immediately beside that man, that boy, we have to use whom. Okay, here how? This is the boy about whom. If there is a preposition, that should be preceded, that should be used before that, what is the relative pronoun? Okay, about him. So about whom, about him is replaced by about whom. Okay, Rakesh is the boy about whom I have told you. Or you can also say Rakesh is the boy whom I have told you about. Okay, in that way also you can say that. Rakesh is the boy who I have told you about. Who I have told you about. It's informal English, formal English, right? And here Shilpa is the girl. I love her very dearly. So you are talking about the girl, that is Shilpa. And in the second example, I love her very dearly. This her is there. It's an objective case pronoun. So it is referring to this girl. So instead of this her, we have to use whom, and that should be placed immediately beside this girl. How? Here you pay attention. Shilpa is the girl whom, okay, instead of this girl, whom I love very dearly. Who I love very dearly. Anything you can say. Okay. And one more example. These are the students. I teach them physics. Okay. Students, we are talking about students. And in the second example, we are using, second sentence we are using about them to refer to them. So this them is directly referring to the students. So instead of them, we have to use who or whom, and that must be placed immediately beside this one. And here how? These are the students whom or who I teach physics. Whom I teach physics, who I teach physics. So two things are given here. I have clubbed these two things because here I have given them separately, but in these two examples I have given them together, okay, in one sentence only, because for lack of space I have used it like that. Whom I teach physics is formal English. Who I teach in physics, this is informal English, right? Use of relative pronoun whose. Whose is there, whose is used. What is that? Not only for persons, okay, persons, but also for what is that? Things. That is what is, okay, right. This is there. Whose is used not only for persons but also for animals, things without life. Okay, that is clearly mentioned there. So one example is given. This is the company. Its owner is a leading politician. So we are talking about this company. In the second example, we are using its owner. Its owner means the owner of this company. So this its is in the possessive case. Instead of this possessive case, you have to use whose. Okay, and here that is simple. Instead of that, whose owner is very simple. Instead of its, we have used anything. Is any problem here? No problem at all. Instead of this possessive case pronoun, we are using possessive case relative pronoun. That's all. Okay. And here, Jhansi Rani was the woman. Her valor was exceptional. Valor means courage, personal temerity, courage. Okay, Jhansi Ki Rani, you know very well. Jhansi Rani was the woman. You are talking about this woman, Jhansi Rani. Okay, her valor was exceptional. Exceptional means extraordinary. You know that meaning. I'm not going to give you the meaning of valor means courage. Already you know that very well. So here, her is in the possessive case. So whenever you are going to join the possessive case pronoun, you must immediately remember the possessive case relative pronoun. You must immediately remember the possessive case relative pronoun. So instead of this, you have to use whose. That's all. So here, how? Let us see that Jhansi Rani was the woman whose, because her is immediately referring to this woman. So immediately beside this woman only, you have to use, instead of this her, you have to use whose. Okay, Jhansi Rani was the woman whose valor was exceptional. One more example is given here. These are the students. Their books are stolen. So here you are talking about the students. In the second example, there is used to refer to these students. Their books. The books of those students, that is the meaning. That means this there is in the possessive case, right? And now we have to use the possessive case relative pronoun. Immediately must remember the possessive case relative pronoun is whose. Oh, you have to join these two statements with the help of the possessive case pronoun only. So here how? Yes, it is referring to this, and therefore this whose, instead of this there, no, use whose, and immediately beside this we have to use. These are the students whose books are stolen. The sun is regarded as a god by the Hindus. The sun, we are talking about the sun, is regarded as a god by the Hindus. Okay, its rays give life to the earth. So here we are talking about the sun in the first example. In the second example, we are using, in the second sentence, we are using its for this. Okay, now what should we do? So this is referring to this sun. Okay, and instead of this sun, we have to use whose. Okay, and that too immediately beside this, because it is referring to the sun. Therefore, this sentence must be used immediately beside this one. Okay, how? Let us see. The sun, its whose rays give life to earth. The remaining sentence should be written here. Is regarded as a god by the Hindus. Right. And next, Rakesh is unhappy. His grandpa is dead. We are talking about Rakesh. And here in the second example, okay, his grandpa, the grandpa of Rakesh, that is the meaning. So this is in the possessive case. Okay, so instead of this, we have to use whose. Okay, that point is clear. Then where should we use? What is this he's referring to? It is referring to Rakesh. So immediately beside that, you have to use whose. Okay, here you see Rakesh, whose grandpa is dead, is unhappy. So this one should be, this is referring to this. Therefore, here you have to use whose, and the remaining sentence of this sentence, the remaining sentence of the first sentence, that should be written Rakesh, whose grandpa is dead, is unhappy. It's like that. And last example is given here. This is my Hyundai car. Its tires are worn out. It's a tire, because in a Hyundai car, it's a tires. No, it's a thing. It comes under a thing. Okay, here also it comes under thing. So whether it is persons or places or things, no, we use only whose. Whose is used with all these persons, places and things. So here Hyundai car is a thing, and so it is referring to this Hyundai car. So instead of its, what should we use? Whose we have to use. And where should we use? Immediately beside this Hyundai car, which it is referring. Okay, okay, it's a car, its tires are worn out. Therefore, what should we do? This is my Hyundai car whose tires are worn out. Very simple, joining these two statements with the help of who, whom and whose. Right. Sometimes it would be more proper to use what is that, of which instead of whose. Sometimes what happens, when this whose is referring to things and animals, we have to use, of which. It will be more proper, it will be more suitable and than this whose. Now, the sun whose rays, we have used it, instead of saying whose, we had better say of which. Okay, how? Let us see that here. Okay, this is a dragon fruit. Its medicinal benefits are amazing. So whenever it means the dragon fruit, right? It is referring to this dragon fruit. Dragon fruit comes under a thing. So to refer to the things, we use only whose. Okay, instead of this, we can use of which also. You can use. This is what he says. The dragon fruit. Two things I mentioned. That it's a dragon fruit whose medicinal benefits are amazing. It's correct. You can also use of which. Okay, this is a dragon fruit, the medicinal benefits of which are amazing. This is a dragon fruit, the medicinal benefits of which are amazing. Okay, as in the previous slide, we have said, the sun is regarded as a god by the Hindus. Its rays are very what's that, give life to the earth, something, in the previous slide we have taken that example. So in that also we can say the sun, the rays of which, you said, in the previous slide, whose rays you said, but you, instead of saying whose rays, you can say the rays of which also, you can use there. So whenever this it's, this whose is used to refer to the things or animals, you can use of which also sometimes. Okay, you can use that. So here, one more example is given. This is the Fermat's theorem. Fermat was a French mathematician, you know that very well. This is the Fermat's theorem. Its solution has baffled mathematicians of all ages. Its solution means, the solution of this theorem has baffled means confused, flabbergasted. What is that? Mathematicians of all ages. Right. Actually, instead of it's, what is this it's doing? It is referring to the theorem. So instead of that, we say, as we say, this is the Fermat's theorem whose solution has been baffled mathematicians of all ages. Right, it is there. So you can also say this is the Fermat's theorem, the solution of which, whose solution, the solution of which. You just watch these, observe these sentences, and you can understand the difference between the statements, used with whose and used with of which. Whose solution, the solution of which. Whose medicinal benefits, the medicinal benefits of which. Okay, I should have colored these two words also. I have forgotten to do that. Anyway, so this is all about the use of pronouns, relative pronouns. Dear students and test takers, this is all about the use of the relative pronouns who, whom and whose. Please watch this video again and again so that you can have a good command of the use of these relative pronouns. Very easy and very simple. If you have any problem, you mention it in the comment section. Okay, and please, by the by, please consider subscribing to my channel, because you are all watching it but you are not subscribing to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel and please encourage me in that way. Okay, that's one point. If possible, please share this video with your near and dear ones. I thank you all for that, and with another beautiful video. And in the next video, I'm going to talk to you about the use of the relative pronouns. What is that? Which and that. Very, very interesting, very, very important from the competitive examinations point of view. Okay, until then, see you all. Bye.